Okay, well, hello and welcome back, everyone. Last year, when I was applying to all these different job positions, I used to reach out to people to actually get referrals, and I was very successfully able to get a lot of referrals from a lot of top companies. But it used to take a lot of time. Like, I used to manually find all the emails, find all the roles, craft each and every email to customize it. Like, although I use ChatGPT and Claude a lot to customize those emails, but it used to take up a lot of time because you're doing it for each and every person. That's why I kind of created this email automation workflow in which you can just put all the different companies. It does not matter 1, 2, 5, 10, however many companies you're applying to. You can put all of them in a Google Sheet along with the role name and the link for that particular role. This workflow will find all the people who are relevant to that role, craft personalized emails for that particular person, so it's not like you're sending the same email to two different people, and it will actually send that email. This is kind of a tutorial video on how to set it up, especially like you have been given everything. So let's jump right into how to set it up. So just follow along with this tutorial, pause whenever you feel necessary and whenever you don't feel necessary. So the first thing is this Google Sheet node over here. So in order to set up the Google Sheet node, you need to set up your Google Cloud Console. I'm going to get started for free, so I'm just going to show you everything that there is. You can follow along with me, but if you already have a Google Sheet account, you do not need to follow this, and you can just simply follow it after I have created the Google account. As you saw, it asked me for my payment information, so I just cut out that part wherein I had to enter my credit card. But understand, it won't charge you anything for the things that we are doing in this particular workflow. It charges you only when you use compute and all of those things. We can just quickly go through this. I'm using other, I'm not sure, and done. So we now have our account created, and it will also have created a project for you. So now what you want to do is you want to select Sheets API in the search bar up at the top. Once it loads, you need to click on this enable button so that it will enable it. Now we need to do the same for Sheets API, Gmail API, and also Google Drive API. So I'm just going to quickly do all of that. So you search for Gmail API, enable that as well, and then you go on to Drive API. So you enable the Google Drive API as well. Now, once you've enabled all three of those, you will be redirected to a screen like this. You want to go to the credentials section, and you can see there are no credentials right now. So you want to create a OAuth client ID, and it will prompt you to create a consent screen. This is very important. This is something that you should definitely be doing. Even if you are setting it up on an existing project, just set up a new project if possible. The way to do this is you click on here and you create a new project. So I'm just going to set it up as N8N workflow email so that I remember. I can quickly just select whatever email it is. Now for this, you can select any of this. I'm just going to select external because I don't want to get into the hassle of everything. I'm going to use my email and create. This takes a little bit of time. Once it is created, you create the OAuth client. Now select web application here, name whatever you want it to. I'll just name it the same thing. Once you have created that, it's very important to add the authorized redirect URLs. Now, where do you get this from? You go back to your workflow, you select the download file node. Okay, well, hello everyone, this is Future Jugal right now. While editing this video, I found one small mistake. I moved the drive node from here to here. Everything else is the same, the setup is the same, and everything else would just work the same way. But one thing to keep in mind is if you don't find the drive node here, it has moved here. So that's just something to keep in mind because you don't get confused. But yeah, please keep watching this video and just set it up. Let me know if you're able to set it up or not. And you click on create credential. It will give you this OAuth client redirect URL. You just click to copy it. You come back here, add URL, and then create. You can leave the JavaScript origins as nothing because you don't need that. And once this is created, it will give you a client ID and client secret. Don't worry, this will be removed after this particular one is done, but it's very important, just keep this particular page open. You'll know in a minute why. Quickly enter the client ID here and enter the client secret as well. And once you are done, sign in with Google just to connect it and sign in using your email. Now you see here that this account has not completed verification process. That's the reason why I mentioned you need to keep that screen open. So you go back here and you click on test users. It will redirect you here. You can just read about what are test users, what are not. But essentially you go on this link and it will prompt you to add test users around here. Let me quickly find it. Remind me later, publish app. So you go to audience and then you click on publish app so that everyone can access it. And once you have done that, you can click on sign in with Google again and select your email address. It will prompt you this, but since this is your own account, you don't need to worry about it. It's your own everything. So you just click on go to N8N workflow safe, select all and continue. Now, once you are done with this, you will see account connected. So this was a Drive node that we opened, right? Now you go to the Google Sheets node and you click on create new credentials again. Since those credentials are already saved, you sign in with Google again and you select your email address. Close this, it's connected. Now this particular Google Sheet is mentioned in the actual article, the Substack post. So what you want to do is you want to come here and create a copy of this. So let me just name it something that I can easily make out and copy it. And once I've made a copy of that particular sheet, I can go back to the workflow, leave everything as it is. Once I've connected my account, I go here and I simply paste that in. Once it loads, I select that particular copy that I just created. I do not select anything else, any other sheet, because it won't work that way. Once you've selected it, you want to select sheet 1 as your filter sheet and just click on execute step to check if it's working. Ideally, it should, and as we can see, you can see 3 particular different companies and those same are here. Now, something very important to note in this sheet is you want to create the company name with the URLs itself. So you want to create google.com, meta.com, openai.com. You don't just want to put Google, Meta, OpenAI. For example, you are applying to IBM. It should be ibm.com and so on and so forth, walmart.com, etc. Once you have done that, you can just go back to your canvas. The next thing we need to set up here is the Hunter API. It's very important to keep testing all of the steps. So the next thing you want to select is the Hunter API. And as you can see, there are no credentials right now. So you want to go to hunter.io and create a new user. So you click on sign up with Google. And once you have signed up, it might ask you for some form. This was an older account. Apparently it was previously created, but essentially the things are same. You come here, you already have an API key. You copy that particular API key and you click on create new credential and just paste in the API key here. Once you do this, you can see you can see that it's correctly set up. Now the department filters here are really important. If you're applying for software engineering roles, you might want to select HR and IT. But for example, if you're applying for marketing roles, you want to select HR and marketing, sales, so on and so forth. So just make sure you're selecting the correct department. This will find emails of all those people from these departments and not anywhere else. Now, if you want, you can pay for Hunter.io, but in the free version, it only allows up to 10 emails per execution. So from each and every company, it will find 10 emails, but you can pay to unlock more. So now I just want to test this out. So I'll just click on execute step. Yep. And as you can see, it found 10 different emails of people of Google in this step. I'm sorry, I don't want to cut. But yeah, it found 10 different emails of Google, and as and when this entire workflow runs, you'll see more and more emails come in from the different companies that we had added. The next thing we want to set up is all of these different Google Sheet accounts that you see here. So you one by one go to each. This should ideally be pre-filled, and you want to select the same sheet from the list. So copy of N8N email workflow 1, 2, 3. And in this one, you want to select the results sheet, not the sheet one. Result sheet is where your entire output would be. Now you select the result sheet and then you go back to your canvas, do the same here, select the actual, just select the credential. I did not select the credential. Select the credential, then select the actual sheet, and then again just make sure you are forcing the result sheet. Sometimes it might be a cached version which is from the previous sheet that was selected. So manually select drop down, like open this drop down and select the result sheet. Go back, and then the next thing you want to set up is the Gemini chat model. A lot of you might have done this in the previous one, previous video which I shared about finding jobs, but in this it's again very extremely simple. You want to go to Google AI Studio and click on Get Started. Just agree to everything, and then once you have your account created, you can just go to Get API Key. And since I don't have any API keys, or okay, oh well, wow, I do have one API key, but I'll just, for the sake of this particular video, I'll create another one. N8N workflow email automation 1, and I'll just create a new project. You can just choose a default project as well, but I'll just name it N8N workflow. And then once the project is created, it takes like 1 or 2 minutes. You click on create key, and there you have it. This is the new key that we just created. So I'm just going to copy it, and I'll go to my Gemini chat model, and as you can see, there is no credential right now, so we need to go ahead and set up the credential. Everything is pre-filled. You just need to paste in the API key, which I just did, and click on save, and and you should get this pop-up. If you do not get this pop-up, that means your API key is not set up correctly. So make sure you do get this pop-up, and then that thing is sorted as well. The next thing is we want to set up our resume. So I already went ahead and uploaded my resume up over here onto a Google Drive. Make sure that the share is anyone on the link can view. So no sign in required. That's how N8N would be able to work. So you go here, and this might not be pre-filled for you. It might be, depending on if you have used this before, but for the sake of this video, let's just set it up again. So as you can see, this is a very similar from what we did for the drive, but you just simply come here, copy paste this. I'm just going to copy it again, client ID and client secret. So once you have copy pasted it, you sign in with Google, and it will just prompt. Okay, what went wrong? Let me check. Oh, okay. It's because I actually just set up this particular one, the account 1. So I'm just going to use that because we set it up at the beginning of this video itself. It was not a new account. But anyway, once you have done that, you copy this URL directly from the browser and you paste it in here. And now that particular step is also done. I'm not going to do the send message step just yet. You need to select and create a new credential for this as well. I'm not going to do it just yet. I'm just going to dry run the rest of it to make sure that everything is working fine. So how to dry run it? The best way to do it is come to this Google Drive workflow and click on execute step. Just to save time for everyone in this particular video, what I'm going to do is in this particular sheet, I'm going to remove Meta and OpenAI for now and click Command S to save, just so we have one company that we are looking out for. And to save a little bit more time, I'm going to change this to 5 emails. So it just generates 5 separate emails. Otherwise, it just takes a little longer and we won't be able to see the output immediately. So now you again come back to download file and click on execute step here just to make sure everything is working correctly. So once you click on execute step, it goes over everything. We can look at outputs of each. So as you can see, it only found 5 emails of people who are either working in recruiting, benefits, HR, and everything, since I selected HR as the first, but you can change this depending on the role you're applying for. It's very important to change this to find the right people. Now this is done. It takes a little while. I'm just going to speed this up right now while I wait for this. There were just some extra things on the sheet from previous sheet which I forgot to remove, but it should be good when you finally get the sheet. That should be solved. So what it is doing right now, it's going to individual people's LinkedIn profile and their work that they have done and curating an email which is personalized to them. And the best part is, once you have uploaded your resume, this particular email, it also attaches your resume from those things, and it also includes your LinkedIn. So what you want to do when you finally want to send that email, when I come to it, I'll explain it, but you want to make sure that this field and this particular thing is changed. Otherwise you'll just send everyone an email with my name. So make sure that this is changed, but again, we will cover that in a later step. Okay, now it's going on to Meta. Apparently, the sheet did not get saved properly, and it just had this data from the previous one. But while we let it run, we can go here and see the output of Google. Yes, perfect. So let me just make this text wrap so it's easier for us to read, and increase the size. Yep, as you can clearly see, it says I'm writing you as this. I'm deeply impressed by Google's this, so it's personalized to this particular person. And similarly, each and every email that you notice is different. It will also have included the particular link and everything. So you can either copy this particular email directly from here, or what you can do is you can run this particular step. I'm not going to run it right now because I don't want to send the recruiter a message for something that I'm not applying for. But essentially, when it gets to this step, we just let it run and we'll see how it works. Just give it a couple more minutes. And Meta should be done by this point as well. Yep, as we can see, Meta is also done. It clearly addresses the person in place here and describes all of your expertise, all of your past experience from your projects, different things that it picked up from your resume over here. Okay, perfect. As you can see here, now it has our file as well, which is my resume and everything. If I wanted to send email now, I would just change this link to whatever link you guys have and just click on execute step. So it will now send the email to each and every person that is mentioned in this particular Google sheet. Like it has Meta, OpenAI, and Google, and it will do that. Now, there might be some people who don't want to send the email directly. So, if you just want a sheet with all the email addresses and the email templates that you can use to send it and want to send it out manually, just come here and delete these two nodes. Like, actually, you can delete these three nodes. Just select all of those and press delete button, and it will be deleted. But I'm someone who actually wants to send it. Like, you might have preferences on whether or not to send it. But if you do want to send it using this, as I mentioned previously, make sure that you are adding your LinkedIn profile URL over here. Otherwise, it will go as blank, and the person who you are sending that email to will kind of not enjoy that particular email. So now that you have the entire thing set up, in order to run this, every time just go over here to your Google Sheet, click on Sheet 1, change the company name's URL and the position, and just reload this particular page, save it again if you have to. And once you do that, just click on execute workflow here. It will run from end to end. Okay, so now that the rest of the things is set up, you click on send message, and then you select and create a new credential for Gmail as well. This one just requires you to sign up. So you sign in with Google, select the same email as you did before, and give it the permissions. We don't need this, so we just click continue. And then once it is successful, it says account connected. and then you can simply go ahead and execute the step, or you can go ahead and proceed to execute the entire workflow. So that is how you set it up. If you have any questions whatsoever, please DM me, and DM me on Substack directly, and I'll be more than happy to help you out with whatever it is. Or you can just leave a comment on this particular Substack article as well.